Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video I'm going to discuss the occult significance of the sun and this luminary being mentioned in ancient and occult writings, and I will provide references at the end of this post. This post is going to be about important occult and astrological writings about the sun. And I wrote it for easier personal reference, as everything on this planet will be on this particular page, and hopefully this is going to be useful for some of my readers as well, and I plan to hopefully write similar summaries on other planets as well. General occult and astrological information about the sun. According to the medieval astrology, the sun is placed in the middle of all the planets as seen from this diagram, since they did not have any information about the outer planets of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. And even now, for example, in Hindu astrology, they don't consider the outer planets. Ancients called the sun Sol, Helios, Phoebus, Apollo, and Ra. The sun passes through all the zodiac signs in 1 year, and his mean motion is 59 minutes and 8 seconds, according to William Lilly, the most famous astrologer of the 17th century. The sun rules only the sign Leo and is in detriment in Aquarius. He is exalted in the 19th degree of Aries and is in his fall in the 19th degree of Libra. The sun governs the fiery triplicity daytime, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. He is never retrograde, but his movements are not always the same. He sometimes moves more slowly than at other times. His nature is hot and dry, but more moderate than that of Mars. It's a masculine luminary, and if well dignified in a natal chart, he usually bestows wealth. The orb of the sun is 15 degrees, so any planet in the astral chart within 15 degrees of the sun is told to be in conjunction with the sun. Planets too close to the sun are called combust. They are burnt or provoked by the sun, and this usually produces negative results. So if you can look at your natal chart, and if you see some planet too close to the sun, it means that it's going to be provoked by the sun. So for example, often Mercury is burned by the sun, as he's never too far from it, which may produce the lack of concentration, bad memory, and an inability to think the subject through in a native. Blavatsky writes that there are 7 suns, each on its own plane of existence, and that they all emanate from the central sun, the sun behind the sun. I wrote an ebook about it. And that the central sun is the center of universal life electricity within which divine radiance is focused. She writes that in ancient symbolism, it was the sun which sent out saviors and avatars into the world. And again, all references are at the end of this post. So it's about, I reference Blavatsky also. And we also know that Jesus is often depicted as the sun, especially in Roman Catholic symbolism. And there were so many solar saviors in our history. Paracelsus writes that in the center of the sun there is astral gold, and that the sun gives of it through its rays to all beings. It penetrates all things sentient. The sun rules the ring finger and its mount, which is called the finger of Apollo. By the examination of this finger and its mount, one can judge about a person's prospects to become successful or famous, as well as his creative abilities. It shows whether the person appreciates beauty and whether he is skilled in literature. Wealth prospects are indicated by the finger and the mount too. It can show mental brilliancy. A good finger and mount make the person artistic and lovable. An overdeveloped mount shows the person to be proud and arrogant and suffering from vanity. A depressed mount shows lack of any artistic skill or refinement. The amount of success and whether the person is interested in many things or only in a few can be read from this mount as well. Hero writes that you can judge how much luck the person will have in life by the line of the sun on the palm. If it's a well-marked sun line, even a person possessing a bad headline will have success. People who have this line appear to have more magnetism and more influence over others. It's even possible to tell whether the person will have success in life by looking at the length and the location of the sun line. For example, a short sun line starting from its own mount means that success will come very late in life, almost with no time to enjoy it. And the one starting from the line of heart shows that success will again come later in life, but not as late as in the case just described. People who have the sun line will more easily achieve recognition, reward, riches, and honors. They also will have a happier disposition than most people. Mental characteristics of a person born under the rule of the sun. A person who is largely ruled by the sun will have the following characteristics. He is very faithful and keeps his promises. And also you can check your natal chart to see if you are ruled by the sun, so it will have it's going to be well dignified, and it could be near your ascendant, for example, or your ascendant can be in the sign ruled by the sun, which is Leo, or your sun sign could be Leo. So the person ruled by the sun is faithful and keeps his promises. There is a desire in him to rule and to influence the masses wherever he is. He is thoughtful about the future and possesses good judgment. He is majestic and stately and works hard to acquire honor and wealth. He is above any underhand tactics and despises such traits in others. When he speaks, he is often serious and uses few words. His speech is confident and masterful. He is thoughtful, trustworthy, and uses speech for some definite purpose rather than just for some shallow talk or gossip. He has generous heart and is compassionate. He is magnificent and honorable, and no immoral thoughts enter his mind. He is honest and sincere, and holds good and noble thoughts in his mind. He is very intelligent and has great taste in arts. He is idealistic and may lack practicality, but through luck he becomes as successful as those who are more practical. Because of the favorable influence of the sun, anything he undertakes usually becomes successful. He is lucky in gambling activities, and if he listens to his intuitions, he can prosper solely through such activities. He is naturally a charming individual, so usually by the public demand, he gets a high position in life. His negative qualities are these. He is very selfish, but he is not consciously so. So sometimes he is not constant in his affections. Therefore, people who love him sometimes are heartbroken due to this inconstancy. He is not shrewd in business and may be taken advantage of through flattery, as he likes to listen to compliments and then his guard goes down. If he realizes these weak points and corrects them, his future will be excellent. When the sun is ill-dignified in a natal chart, it makes the solar person arrogant and proud. He despises people and dissatisfied with himself for no reason. It makes him bad in making judgment, rebellious, troublesome, a show-off, domineering, a spendthrift, and foolish. His words hold no power. His actions do not spring from much thought. He wastes inheritance and is likely to become dependent on the charity of others and use other people for money. Yet he will think himself doing them a favor with his mere presence in their lives. Physical characteristics of a person born under the rule of the sun. The body of a solar person is usually strong, well-formed, and he has large frame. He is of a medium stature. His complexion is yellow or saffron. The forehead is round and large. His hair is usually fair and the chin is round and firm. Teeth are regular and may be of a yellow tint. Big bulging eyes are very common. They can be large, sharp, and piercing. The body is not necessarily beautiful, but it looks full of health. Solar men are likely to become bald quite fast, but their beards usually remain thick. Solar women may also experience some hair loss with age. Ruddy complexion is usual. The body leans towards chubbiness rather than leanness. What sun represents in astrology and diseases caused by it. In horary astrology, the sun signifies celebrities, judges, city governors, bosses, presidents, and other high-rank people. It could signify honorable and respected people, the ones that are most esteemed by the community. It could also signify people working with gold, those who work with money, or who aspire to be famous. Diseases that are caused by the sun are the following: pimples, heart trembling or palpitation, or any other heart problem. Also, sometimes some brain dysfunction may be caused by this luminary. Problems with eyes are also caused by the sun, but usually it's the right eye that's affected by the sun, because the right eye is ruled by the sun, whilst the left eye is ruled by the moon. Muscle cramps, fainting, mouth diseases, shortness of breath may be caused by this luminary also, but the head is also affected by the planet Mars, so it's not necessarily the sun that causes the problems. Plants, animals, places, and metals ruled by the sun. Plants that are ruled by the sun, according to William Lilly, smell nice and are of good flavor, and the flowers are yellow or reddish. The plants are of beautiful shape. Such plants love to grow in places that receive plenty of sunshine. Consumption of those plants ruled by the sun, principally strengthens the heart, revitalizes the body, improves eyesight, and resists poison, witchcraft, and malignant planetary influences. William Lilly lists these plants as ruled by the sun: saffron, citron, vine, horseheal, St. John's wort, musk, ginger, common rue, marigold, rosemary, cinnamon, I don't know how to pronounce that, celandine, euphrasia, peony, barley, cinquefoil, probably I pronounced that wrong, spikenard, and cane. Now, trees ruled by the sun are as follows: ash, palm, laurel, myrtle, frankincense, cedar, if I pronounce that right, heliotropium, orange, lemon. Mammals and worms ruled by the sun: lion, horse, ram, crocodile, bull, goat, nightworms, and glowworms. Fish ruled by the sun: crabfish, starfish, sea calf, or sea fox. Birds ruled by the sun are eagle, cock, phoenix, nightingale, peacock, swan, buzzard, goshawk. Places ruled by the sun: houses, courts of princes, palaces, theaters, all magnificent, well looked after structures, halls, dining rooms. Elements, metals, and stones ruled by the sun: fire, gold, jacinth, chrysolite, any red gemstone, eagle stone. Now, more information about the rulership of the sun. The sun is told to rule people when they are at their strongest. Means when they reach the age in which they feel mature, yet they have that peak strength still. The sun rules Sunday and its first and eighth astrological hours, not the normal hours. It rules the numbers 1 and 4, though 4 is also ruled by Uranus, but Uranus is related to the sun. It is told to rule the 4th month of pregnancy. The friends of the sun are all the planets except Saturn, according to William Lilly. The sun, according to Vedic astrology now, which is a little different from Western, and some astrologers say that it's a lot different from Western. I think it has quite a lot of similarities actually. The sun is told to be the soul of everything, the vitality which enables all to exist. It is the sovereign, according to Hindu astrological writings, which means that it represents people in power such as kings or political leaders. It stands for the age of 50 years in Hindu astrology. Its color is copper and it rules the stone ruby. It's a male planet and may indicate the birth of a boy if it's somehow related to the 5th house, which rules children. It also relates to the bones in the human body because bones provide the structure for the body, and without the sun, nothing would exist. This is the logic behind it representing bones in Vedic astrology. If it's high up in the sky when the person is born, it's the most favorable position for the sun according to Vedic astrology. It is told to be a fixed principle in opposition to the volatile principle that's the moon. And also it rules the fixed sign Leo. It represents the father, bravery, and wealth, which is the same as in Western astrology. It represents the humor called bile. People ruled by this planet have little hair on their bodies due to the heat of it. And this luminary is sattvic, which means good in nature, being the soul of all things. It represents the right eye, which is again the same as in Western astrology. It represents half a year. It rules the heart and the eastern direction. It also rules brain in the human body. It rules the summer. Rudra and Shiva are considered to be presiding deities of the sun. The greatest difference between the Western and Vedic astrological conception of the sun is that in the West it's viewed as a benefic, whilst in India as a malefic. Though some Vedic astrologers disagree with this classical view, arguing that that which gives life to the world cannot be malefic, and they also see that its nature is sattvic, which is good, so that's contradiction. So that's all I have to share with you about the planet Sun. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation, and here is the list of references that I used to write this article. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.